I just want to start by saying this. Man, I hope everybody's out there feeling okay. And man, I want everybody out there who's feeling okay to not sit there and think this is okay for me to go out and live my life as I see fit. There's a reason why many states across this great country of ours is passing rules like Governor Cuomo did in New York, Governor Newsom did a couple days ago here in California, and I might be leaving out your state. I'm just knowing because I heard Governor Cuomo coming in saying that he has, along with the governors of the states of New Jersey and Connecticut, coordinated, because there is no mandate from the federal government right now on what everybody, all 50 states, should do. So states are piecemealing together in the same way that the sports world began piecemealing things together. From Rudy Gobert testing positive to coronavirus and the NBA shutting down, and then, the Ivy League the day before that canceling its tournament, and then the presidents across the NCAA coming to their own conclusions, and then the NHL eventually a couple days later coming to its own conclusions, and the PGA, and then NASCAR, tennis world, men's and women's tennis, everybody coming to their own conclusions eventually to shut everything down. There's a reason why in most states of this union, gyms, movie houses, theaters. I just went really old school right there. I don't know why I went talkies on you right there.
Movie house.
There's a reason why bars and restaurants are shutting down, and why perhaps you should right now order in from your favorite restaurant if you feel comfortable with somebody else preparing your food, or even if you aren't uncomfortable of that, buying a gift card from your favorite restaurant so funds can be funneled into that business while they potentially get some sort of economic shortfall. And then when this whole nightmare is over, and it will end one day. We don't know when, but it's going to end one day. Civilization was not brought to its knees by smallpox or polio. One day when we all get through this together, because we're going to do the right thing together. We're going to do the right thing together. Eventually, all of us need to come to the conclusion that it doesn't matter if there's St. Patrick's Day, and it doesn't matter if somebody's saying, hey, I'm feeling good, let's go to a bar, or if it hasn't been shut down in your state. Stay home. Stay home. Please, everybody, if you know somebody that's not taking this seriously, if you know somebody that's out still on a vacation and figuring, I'll just finish this thing up. One place that they're not going to finish it up is Las Vegas, Nevada, which essentially is just shutting it all down.
I mean, it's literally a desert now.
And it foretold what the NFL has announced this morning when the MGM company that handles most of the casinos on the Strip, including the Bellagio, said, we're done, we're shutting the casinos, and we're not taking reservations before May 1st. And that includes the NFL draft between the 23rd and 25th of April. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, I guess that's what's going to happen here. And from the 23rd, 25th of April, they were planning on shutting down the Strip, part of the Strip, and letting you walk on a huge expanse to the stage near Koval. Anybody knows Las Vegas, Nevada very well. Well, that's not happening now. The NFL announcing today, in consideration of current information related to COVID-19 and guidance from medical experts such as the CDC, the NFL is going to modify the 2020 NFL draft plans. There will be no public events. And looks like I'm working from the LA studios because the draft's going to go on. The draft will go on. And we'll televise it, and I'm sure ESPN will as well. And we'll just be in our Los Angeles studios just like 2005, right?
Yes.
That was the last time that we did not go to an NFL draft and broadcast it for the NFL Network.
Can we envision what this is going to be like? Is it just going to be Roger in a room announcing picks?
I imagine it'll be Roger in a room announcing picks. Yeah.
Wow.
There might be, enough people socially distant from one another in the room
Right.
less than 50 because the CDC has said no gatherings of more than 50 people in the United States for the time being. So there you have that. And again, we've mentioned this before, which is why I was so upset about social media tipping picks.
Yeah.
Because it is a television event. Obviously, that's what helps put a roof over my head is broadcasting a draft. It's a television event. People want to watch it on television and be surprised. The commissioner needs to be the Paul Revere of this to let you know who's coming. You know,
reference.
one if by quarterback, two if by one if by offense, two if by defense. You know, like literally,
Nice.
who's coming to this? Who's coming to the NFL?
Nice.
He needs to be the one to announce it.
The draftees are coming. The draftees are coming.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But it can technically be done like your fantasy draft.
Sure.
Point and click
Yeah.
on
Well,
something.
not like
and-
my fantasy draft.
Yeah, exactly.
No, exactly.
Like an actual fantasy draft.
Right? So it can technically be done that way, and it's still going to be done that way. And the fact that somebody calls in their picks and
Our team's
and they
our
announce
team's
it.
going to still have war rooms.
Of course, they still have to be there, but I imagine they'll cut down the number of people in there. I have no idea. It's 5 weeks from now. This thing about we have no idea what it's going to look like 5 weeks from now. None, because and this is the thing that is particularly for me, and I'm sure for all of you out there, particularly jarring about this. That it seems like things are going in light years, in just minutes. Hours feel like years in terms of how things are developing, how fast things are going, how not fast enough things are going. And that's what I think is jarring and freaking so many of us out, and why doing a show like this today is weird. I'm not going to lie to you. We're all here, and because we love doing it, and we feel like if we're well enough, and let's do it. And perhaps you're sitting at home, hunkered down, and listening or watching YouTube.com/Rich Eisen Show. And as long as we're feeling well, and we are literally like TJ is about 20 feet away from me, Cisco is about 20 feet away from me, you guys are about 10 feet away from me. I think you're about 6 feet away from each other right there.
Easy.
I'm a
Okay.
good 8 feet from
All
you.
right, so we're doing the right thing here, and we're washing our hands. We're all right. But in terms of just unease, and in terms of wondering where the enemy is and when it might come, and how out of body it is to feel different in this country, and how our way of life may not be the same again, and we're wondering, will we ever be the same way again, and when can we get back to being that way again? This feels like 9/11 to me. It really does. And I totally know it's different between terrorism and a pandemic, but I'm just talking about the way we're all feeling as Americans right now. And amidst all of that, when I did a show on SportsCenter on 9/12, the night of 9/12, Stuart and I did the overnight SportsCenter on the 12th of September 2001. I remember we looked at each other and we're like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? Like, why are we doing this?
There weren't any sports that night, right?
Well, there was a lot of news. By the way, hell of a lot more news today in just the normal way of doing things, and we'll get to that in the NFL shortly. But the concept that night was who was on the planes, who was in the Pentagon, anybody related to the sports world, and when is sports, what is sports going to do? When are they going to shut down? And Stuart and I looked at each other, we're like, what the hell are we doing? And many of us feel that same way today. But we hope, wherever you are, we can all stick together, stay home, and figure a way out of this together with compassion and love and empathy and everything that can bring us together as people, even though we are literally looking at each other like, do you have something? And we need to be socially distant. And it's going to be very difficult when we're day 30, maybe day 60, day 90 of all of this. How to handle it. But we have to get through it. And we will.